It's a national security issue. Obviously, it's a fentanyl issue, but it also hurts American workers with wages. Corporations love an open border because they don't have to increase wages for American workers. Bernie Sanders, even in 2015, spoke about having a strong border because of protecting American wages until he flip-flopped on the issue. So for me, it's highly disappointing because when you're down there at the border, you just look at life different because, if you're in the outside, if you just read about the border, you're just reading about the numbers. But when you're down there and you actually see the people, it changes. I interviewed countless of migrant women that have been sexually assaulted, raped on their way. For folks who don't know, a lot of migrant women travel with Plan B because they know that they're going to get most likely raped.
Her children.
So when you hear that, it's like, well, where are the politicians now? Now they're not there because they don't have to pander. So my heart goes out to those people because they're, the migrant people are just pawns in this big game. They're being used by drug cartels. They're also being, the United States government basically made this system where they're being trafficked in record numbers.
Yeah, and I'm curious because it seems so hypocritical for them to say that they are the compassionate side, leftism in general, when I hear stories like your family's, that's usually the general story that I hear of people that immigrate to this country, that are thankful for what they have here, and don't want to be called Latinx or whatever it's called. It's like everything that the left says these days goes against the core values, and then they still think that just because of your physical features that they're going to get your support and that it's a shoo-in. How do you feel about that? And do you think we're reaching a breaking point I look at the numbers, I look at the public opinion polls, and I'm shocked by it to see how against the American people are and the immigrants are between them and the left, and they just keep pushing their crazy messaging.
Yeah, the left used to be the party of the working class, but they have aligned themselves with college educated, kind of the high elites, highly educated, and they've kind of alienated the working class, which majority of Latinos and immigrants are in that working class. So they no longer relate. And I think the Latino people are starting to wake up to the issue that a lot of these establishment Democrats haven't done anything for them, haven't made their lives any better. Especially, I'm coming from the state of California. When Newsom put his closures on small businesses, that impacted immigrant businesses all over the state. So I think they're slowly waking up. I think a huge thing that's even waking up the Latino people faster than ever, and I think a lot of Americans forget this, is a lot of these immigrant families, and especially Latino, they're actually more conservative than the average American conservative. And what do I mean by that is right now we're seeing the left push the transgender LGBT education on kids. That right now is pushing the Latinos further right than anything. I think the biggest evidence of that was actually in Virginia. Virginia, their highest Latino population is Salvadorian. And a lot of Salvadorians led the kind of fight back against critical race theory and that transgender education, and led to a Glenn Youngkin victory. We could also look at the evidence in South Texas. So South Texas, all those border towns are 80% Latino. In 2016, all those border towns swung to Hillary Clinton, and it wasn't even close. Fast forward to 2020, all those border towns swung to Trump. We've never seen kind of that flip before in politics. So we are seeing the Latinos wake up. And like I said, people forget that Latinos are, like I said, they're more conservative than the average conservative. So when they start to see this education push on the children, that's when they say, okay, wait a minute, enough is enough. So we're starting to see kind of that base wake up, and I'm really interested to see how they swing in the midterms. Either in 2024, we'll watch the way they vote.
Hey guys, it's Morgan. Thanks so much for watching the Freedom Records. Do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so that you get notified when new content comes out. Thanks so much.